We're in way media.
Hello, Twisted Humans. Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting?
Then this is the podcast for you. I'm Alecia.
And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked.
Hello and welcome to episode 134, Twisted Humans. This is your favorite podcast, Twisted and Uncorked. Tell your friends, tell your family, go leave a 5-star rating and review. It makes us super happy. That is my PSA for today, because I am very thankful for all of you as we are recording this. It is American Thanksgiving. But by the time it comes out, it won't be. But hopefully you'll still be feeling all the holiday warm and fuzzies and want to say something nice about us. But first, Sierra, I have a cult story for you today. And I had only briefly heard of this cult and really dove into it after Kevin mentioned that one of the cast members from one of our favorite shows was involved. So that's a little hint, nudge, nudge for you and the listeners. And I apologize for my voice in advance, but do you have a fun fact for us before we get started?
I do. My fun fact is that there is a holiday I did not know about called Wolfnut.
Okay.
And
tell me more.
There's a website. It's called wolfnut.com. What is Wolfnut? Wolfnut was created by my 7-year-old son. I thought, what a cool idea, and posted about it on Facebook, as I do many of his cool ideas. A couple of my friends asked me to make it public. It exploded. I made an event at a request. Then I tweeted about it, and everything went crazy. This was my original post. My son has invented a holiday called Wolfnut. It is when the spirit of the wolf brings and hides small gifts around the house for everyone. People who have had, or are kind to dogs get better gifts than anyone else. You can eat roast meat, because wolves eat meat, and cake decorated like a full moon. A holiday to the spirit of wolves that celebrates people who are kind to dogs. I can 100% get behind this. So we will be celebrating Wolfnut. It's on the 23rd of November if anyone else is moved to celebrate it. If you do, please post pics so he can see how his idea has spread. If you're posting publicly about it, use hashtag Wolfnut. If you're a new fan, welcome to the Wolfanati. It's fucking adorable.
I have never been more obsessed with something in my entire life. We will be celebrating next year.
For sure. I'm so upset that I didn't know about this beforehand. It is November 23rd today, as we're recording. So happy Wolfnut, guys. But they have calendars and a book and
oh my god,
all kinds of stuff that you can buy. It's in New Zealand.
That's
by the way. So
fucking cute.
Clinton, let us know if you celebrate Wolfnut. It's fucking awesome.
We have multiple listeners in New Zealand, and we always just like call out Clinton.
Yeah.
He is the OG Twisted Human.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, let us know. And tell. Yeah. Oh my god, tell
Spread
everybody
Wolfnut.
about that. Oh my god, that's so cute. I want to celebrate it. It's too late.
It's pretty awesome.
So stressed out now. I don't know how to follow this.
Listen,
so
I gotta
next
say,
year,
it sounds
guys, it
sounds way better than American Thanksgiving. So
fuck.
This might be what I do from now on instead of Thanksgiving.
I love it so much. I'm obsessed with animals. Everybody knows this. I love that that's one of the rules. If you're kind to dogs, you get better gifts. No notes. Happy Wolfnewt. I also
What
like
is-
that we are both wearing orange right now as we
Oh,
are
I actually
recording
have my
this.
orange sweater right next to me,
That's so fun.
but it's not cold enough yet.
That is a very cute sweater, I will say.
know.
It is a knit turtleneck, long
Yeah.
sleeve, kind of like light orange. I'm here for it.
I'm gonna put it on because I'm
Okay.
getting
In
cold.
in solidarity, I'm freezing.
The neck is so big.
Oh, I love it. That's the best kind. Big and comfy and keeps you warm. Oh my God, it's so cute. I can't pull off
Thanks.
turtlenecks. I
This is
have
what I
too
wore
much of a double
today.
chin. It's not cute. I love it. Or okay, let's
Now I'm
face it,
cozy.
guys. We're both autumns. And
Tell me
speaking
your
of
fun fact.
autumn, my fun fact has nothing to do with that, but it is about Nutella and that it was invented during World War II because there was a chocolate shortage. And as the name suggests, it contains more hazelnuts than cocoa. And and as an aside, the producing company Ferrero. Sorry. Oh my God, how dare I insult them? The producing company Ferrero uses 25% of the global supply of hazelnuts. And Sierra and I both love Ferrero Rocher. So that is my fun fact about a holiday favorite treat of ours / Nutella. And the fact that it was invented in World War II, and it took me until I was 29 years old to try it is shameful.
Yeah, it is. Also, I absolutely love Nutella. I would
The
rather
listeners
eat.
know we watched you eat a mini jar of it with your fingers once
Oh
upon a time.
yeah, I remember. I would rather eat Nutella than, a jar of chocolate, for instance. So I'm glad that the hazelnut is in there. But I'm sure I've already said this before because I've talked about Nutella a lot. I love Nutella so much that is where my fascination with Italy comes from because they.
Not the fact that your husband's Italian, but
Oh no, I've been
Nutella.
fascinated with Italy way before I met him. Him being Italian was like a bonus.
Oh, that was a
I
check
was
mark
like,
in
you
his
have to
box.
be.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Um, Nutella, sponsor the podcast. God, that's your last free plug. We're gonna
Probably
pixel
not.
out the next jar that Sierra eats on air. I'm joking. No, but seriously, sponsor us. We're not joking about that. Yeah, I love Nutella too. It's fucking delicious. Except for I think I had it somewhere where it got hot because like the oil separated from it the next time I opened the jar, and I was like, is it supposed to do that, or am I gonna poison myself by eating this?
No, peanut butter does that too. You just gotta mix it up.
Kraft peanut butter doesn't do that. But there's all
Well,
sorts of
that's
chemicals in
because
Kraft
it's
peanut butter.
not real peanut butter. Yeah. If you buy natural peanut butter, it
I
does.
know. I like natural peanut butter. Actually, my new favorite peanut butter is just nut butter, and it's like a mix of like flax
Yeah.
and almond and cashew, I think. Oh my God, so good. But Kevin thinks it's disgusting, so I buy Kraft peanut butter for his sake too. But peanut butter and chocolate and deliciousness go really well with wine. That I don't even
Clink.
hit a button. I am for visual peeps, I am drinking a glass of red wine because I broke my mini bottle of rosé that I bought, and I'm really sad about it. So we're not drinking that today, but I'm gonna tell you about it. So we are drinking Heller Family Estates Sparkling Rosé. Heller Family wines used to be on tap at the old Spaghetti Factory, so I know that they are pretty good and they're quite affordable. And they just started making the sparkling version of this rosé, and I think of bubbles around holidays and celebrations and things that are super exciting, so I thought it was a perfect one. And it's a Canadian wine, and it is a beautiful pale pink color with flavors of strawberry, cherry, red currant, and pomegranate. It's a medium-bodied rosé and is light and refreshing with a perfectly dry finish. Now, it is labeled as a dry rosé, but I think because of the bubbles, I found it more palatable, if that makes sense.
Right.
And this wine contains 86% Pinot Noir, 10% Gamay Noir, and 4% Pinot Meunier, which I, as a varietal, didn't know existed until I saw that breakdown. So I am featuring that wine, and the mini bottle that I bought was shamefully like as much as the regular bottle. I should have just bought that, and I dropped it on the
Probably
floor.
wouldn't have broke.
Yeah. Well, actually, you want to know what happened? So I reached up to get a glass, and you see how big my sweater is?
Ah,
So I
yeah.
went down like that, and it caught the lip of the little bottle, and it threw it on
Yeah.
the floor.
It's the bad thing about these big old sweaters.
Yeah, they're dangerous. They are a hazard to tiny bottles of wine. And I also feel like a terrible pet owner because my rabbits are in the kitchen. So they were in the splash zone.
Oh no.
Kevin just woke up from a nap and was like, "Why does it smell like wine in here?" And I'm like, "I don't want to talk about it." So I am drinking from my red wine box, but that is what I am featuring. So
Throwing glass bottles of wine at your bunnies
is
does
not
not
wolf
get
newt
you
friendly.
good gifts
I
for
know.
Wolf Newt.
I know. But what if it's an accident? Like I feel like the wolves would know, you know?
They
I
would
don't
know.
I have prey animals as a pet. That's like a wolf's favorite. Come on. No, I'm not offering my rabbits as a sacrifice to Wolf Newt.
No.
And speaking of sacrifices, my cult today has nothing to do with sacrifices, but many
I was
cults
like,
do.
oh, I thought I knew what you were talking about. Maybe I don't know if there's sacrifices. Just kidding.
No, you definitely have heard of this cult. But before we get into it, we are going to hear a promo from another cool podcast, Live, Laugh, Murder podcast. And we will be right back. So, I don't, if my little hint, nudge, nudge, and not about human sacrifice was any clue to you guys, I will be telling you about the cult NXIVM.
Yay.
It's a very conflicting response for that, Sierra. But
I know a lot about it, but I've never wanted to dig into it myself. So I'm excited that you did it for me. You know what I mean?
Okay, there you go.
I'm
That's fair.
excited to learn more from you so I don't have to do it.
It is definitely a mixed bag in terms of
Yeah.
cults, which is kind of what makes it so interesting. But like all good cults, there's a history. So let's go back to the beginning. After trying his hand at a series of failed MLM empires, Keith Raniere decided to try his luck building a community without physical products, but with the promise of knowledge and sex and family. And in 1998, he founded the group NXIVM, a self-help, putting that in quotes, front organization in Albany, New York.
Most of those self-help places just turn into fucking cults. Like, I wish people would stop trying
we made
to
the joke about
self-help
MLMs
other people.
being cults themselves, really.
Big time.
Super big time cults. You basically have to eat, sleep, and breathe whatever you're bringing in and hoping to succeed in for the people above you. Many people don't make it that far because there's usually financial, investment that needs to be made, or you have to buy the products first, or whichever. But they get you by promising, a career of your own and an opportunity to make more money. And even though he failed at this, he maintained the charisma and the gusto to scam people, I should say. He was an only child, and he had a little bit of a grandiose way of thinking, even at a young age. He was quick for ideas and whatever could lead him to some sort of success.
Do we know any only children who went on to become something great?
Or normal? No. I feel like have multiple children.
I wasn't
have
gonna
two
go that
children.
far, but
Sierra's
yes.
rule: have two children. That's it. Only two, but just two children.
I feel like only children are always serial killers or, something
Something's a
awful.
little off. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're an only child and you listen to this podcast and you're not a serial killer or a cult leader, please let us know.
Yeah, let us
If
know.
you are a serial killer or a cult leader, please immediately unsubscribe.
Actually, let us know that also. We're going to solve a couple cases. And then you can listen to us from jail, buddy.
Yeah, right? I'm so sorry. We're actually obligated to turn you in at that point.
Yeah.
So he had this base of wanting to be great and make money and promise all of these things to people that he could not fulfill. Since then, an estimated 18,000 people have enrolled in the group's workshops. And at its height, the cult held 700 members.
18,000 people and 700 members?
Not like a great retention rate.
No.
Absolutely not. No.
It seems like a lot of people were like, this is bullshit.
A lot of people fell for the MLM type bracket that this was in. And as we later learn, he was charged with racketeering. Many of the people that were involved were. And I was like, I can't for the life of me remember what racketeering means. So I Googled it. And it's basically when you have a constant front where money is coming in, but it really has nothing to do with where that money is going or anything. It's just a big scam, which MLMs often feel like, but at least at the end of the day, you have like a product that you can use. I have fallen for MLMs in the past. I do not fault people for falling for them. You just have to, keep your boundaries and say no.
Yes.
No not is the hardest to put money into something that somebody else is forcing you to believe in, which is exactly what Keith Raniere did. These learning workshops, or the front that he was making money through, was referred to as a session, and they were called Executive Success Programs, or ESPs. So already
ESP, really?
Yeah. Already I'm like, if somebody was like, do you want to join our executive success program for the small amount of whatever money? I'd be like already that sounds fishy. But again, many of these people didn't feel like they had anything to lose. He's very charismatic. And you did have to pay to take them. Shocking. Many members were recruited from wealthy families and would pay thousands of dollars for some of these courses. For example, one of them was the small amount of $7,500.
Oh
but
my
it was
God.
like a package course. And it was like basically, here, come take all of the courses we have to offer over the next 16 days for 12 hours a day. And, you're bulk paying at that point, win-win for everybody, right? Absolutely fucking ridiculous. I could not find the cost to take these courses alone. I just found that really nice group package that I felt like I should share with you guys.
Yeah.
But just an example of how he made money quickly and isolated people in these long, grueling sessions, like 12 hours. I took 3-hour classes in university sometimes, and that was too much. Like that was way too much.
And I imagine someone pays $7,500. They go to 1, 2, maybe even 3 of these classes, and then they're like, okay, I don't want to go anymore. So then they're just out all their money.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. There's no refund.
Oh, definitely not.
But again, many of these people were from wealthy families, so they had the money to spare and would pay the thousands of dollars. If you didn't have thousands of dollars to pay, you could offset a little bit of the cost by recruiting new members. So
MLM.
Yes. And then when you get to a certain part of the organization, you get to earn commissions. So an MLM.
Yeah.
But with nothing, with just nonsense. You're sitting in a class learning from people that believe so wholeheartedly in him. And at the beginning, he was teaching some of these classes himself. And this is where it gets less MLM-y and more culty. A 12-step mission statement was read before each executive success program course, and those steps were the following. Success is an internal state of clear, honest knowledge of what I am, my value in the world, and my responsibility for the way I react to all things. What? There are no ultimate victims, therefore, I will not choose to be a victim. Okay. I am committed to be successful. Sorry, I understand that each of us must raise ourselves and thereby raise all others as all others raise us. This is interdependence. It gets better. Success in my own right is my earned success. True success cannot be stolen, copied, or received by happenstance. I will not masquerade as successful by these methods or any other. I will earn my success. Okay, this is just a few, but like, what am I even saying? Like,
I don't know.
What is the take?
It sounds
Exactly.
like really flowery wording.
Yeah, it's
to confuse somebody.
you.
Yeah.
What am I even saying? Like, Jesus, mother. Tribute is a form of payment and honor. It is giving credit where credit is due. I will use tribute to uphold others beyond my petty likes and dislikes, and as a result, I will define myself and my true contribution to mankind.
Okay.
Successful people do not steal, and they have no desire or need to steal. I will not steal anything. I will always earn what I need and desire. Copying without permission or tribute is the highest form of flattery. It is theft. Theft is also taking or receiving something without fully earning it. It is always at the expense, no matter how small, of others. Inner honesty and integrity are the highest human values and the foundation of the human psychology.
So is he just flowery writing, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not lie, but like in a new way? The fuck is this?
No, like at what point when you're in these classes and hearing these 12 steps, which I'm not even done yet, are you like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Like, I consider Sierra and I to be intelligent women. Many people, even without little life knowledge and skill, would hear this and be like, what?
Yeah, whoever wrote this is not intelligent.
He wrote this. Are you shocked? The methods and information I learn in ESP are for my own use only. I will not speak of them or in any way give others knowledge of them outside ESP. Part of the condition of being accepted into ESP is to keep all information confidential. If I violate this, I am breaking a promise and breaching my contract. But importantly, I am compromising my inner honesty and integrity. So there's a lot of gaslighting also.
They have a contract?
No. You had to sign an NDA following these ESPs,
Okay.
but no real contract. But he makes you think you have a contract, gaslighting. True success is never at the expense of others. Again, I'm pretty sure we said this in like step 3.
Yeah.
As a successful individual, I will never envy another's success. I will rejoice because I realize the success of others raises me up just a little bit more because I am also part of the human team. The actualization of human potential by anyone is a tribute to all team humankind. If others are successful, I will protect their success against those who envy them. I pledge to purge myself of all parasite and envy based on habits and replace them with habits of the effort of the independence. What? Like, again, he's changing up the Bible here. I will never unreservedly accept success that I have earned. I will accept no more and no less. This is accepting with integrity. I will give unreservedly to those who have earned it, and this is giving with integrity. So I'm gonna save you guys from the last two steps and the rest of this sentence, but it did give me the little thought bubble of that episode of Friends where Joey's writing Chandler and Monica's
Yes.
we're giving and
Adoption thing.
receiving and
Oh,
sharing
that
and
one.
giving and
Yeah.
receiving and giving and therefore sharing, that's what all of this makes me feel like, but not in a funny Joey way where he has limited vocabulary. Yeah.
At my sister's wedding, I quoted that.
Did you?
I did
I
in my
love that.
speech.
My cousin was my MC and she quoted that in like the
Yeah.
opening of Us too. All good weddings have Friends references, guys.
Exactly.
But no good classes start with any of what I just said to you guys.
No,
I
no,
tried
no,
to
no,
read
no.
it in a dramatic fashion. I hope you enjoyed it. I actually am not even sure what I read to you over the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, I have no idea what you said.
Sierra's face the whole time, for those of you that are not subscribed on YouTube, was pretty funny. She looked really confused. Also, like she wanted to leave, but she has to be
Yes.
here. And like I said, prior to the sessions, they did sign an NDA, but they were also asked to remove their shoes. And from a psychological standpoint, when you are out and about or in any setting, your shoes are kind of a feeling of security and protection. Like you can go anywhere. Without
Mhm.
your shoes, you do feel a little vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
That's not in anything. That's just my own speculation because why the fuck else would you have to remove your shoes? That's just weird.
Maybe as a foot fetish.
Maybe.
Twisted and Uncorked will be right back. If you prefer not to listen to ad breaks, head on over to patreon.com/twistedanduncorked for more information on receiving ad-free episodes.
And they also put on what other color sash indicated where they were in the organization. So anyone who initiated in the organization got a white sash. They paid for the program. They're there. A yellow sash indicated that you were a coach. These members worked for free for the organization by teaching courses and recruiting new members, but they still had to pay for some of their courses. They're doing that offset program where they're like, I'm recruiting you, I'm teaching, but also trying to pay off my own debts. And then orange sashes indicated that you were a proctor. And these people were able to earn a small salary or commission for recruiting and often taught courses as well. So that's where we're at. These sessions, like I said, would last hours. Some of them would even last 17 hours.
Jesus.
Like, what?
Who has 17 hours after spending $7,500? Like, I need to go make some more money now. I gotta go to work.
Yeah, right. I gotta go back to serving some Waffle House peeps and singing the Jonas Brothers in my head. I can't afford that. No. 17 hours. And on top of alienating people from the outside world for 17 hours, they're fucking exhausted at this point. They're gonna drink whatever Kool-Aid you have to give.
Yeah.
And many of these people didn't come from much, and thus was the incentive to, take these courses. They had free time. They maybe didn't have a lot of friends or family around. They're also paying this much money, so the incentive to stay and learn, I put in quotations, is also there. And then as an added cherry on top, higher members of the community got to live together in commune-like housing. So, they got to have a sense of togetherness and family.
That's so creepy.
It is creepy. Many of these members were not paid, though, like I said. So that's problem number one. They're paying to be here and not getting paid to help. There were women's only programs referred to as NES and men's only programs called the Society of Proctors. They also had specific centered courses that you could take if you were interested in, like a fitness related one called EXO or ESO, depending on your gender and who taught your course, men, women.
Okay.
Like many cults, the primary aim was to break people down psychologically, financially, and separate them from their loved ones in the outside world, keeping them above everything NXIVM. The organization continued for years. Years.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was started in the 90s because
Right?
I know that it was pretty recently shut down or
Exactly.
found out, I guess.
Yeah. In 2017, a little break in the armor was created. One of the highly secret women's organizations within the organization, called Somnus Obsequens Sorum, which
What the
in
fuck is up with
Latin
these words?
translates to Lord over the obedient female companions. So that's fun.
What?
Would lead to the organization's downfall.
Why do these women take this? You know what I mean? Like, ladies, you gotta stick up for yourselves.
PSA, quick PSA
Why
here, guys.
would you want to be in something that is saying you must be obedient and whatnot? That's fucking weird.
So before I get to the downfall of this organization, there are branches we need to discuss. We have the front where people are learning all of these courses. And then on the back end at the, high level, super secret portion of the organization, we have groups like the DOS, as it was shortened to, of women who were basically sex slaves. And then we have another branch that I'm going to touch on briefly before going back to the sex slave branch, where there was human experimentation.
The fuck?
Because if you're not going to earn money by giving people products on an MLM scheme, one quick way to earn money is in the pharmaceutical or in the drug department. So Keith Raniere had people working on experimentation and testing surrounding Tourette's syndrome, which those of you who are not familiar with Tourette's syndrome, it's actually often confused with Asperger's a little bit, where you say things uncontrollably. Tourette's syndrome is kind of similar, in which is like a series of tics, like blinking, coughing, throat clearing, sniffing, and facial movements. It was discovered by a man of the name Tourette. His last name was Tourette, as all good psychological disorders are. Often it's rare and seen as quite bizarre, and thus was the perfect market for Keith Raniere to get into, because it was one of the least understood throughout the 90s and early 2000s. So I'm not joking when I said that they did human experimentation, and this was like in a secret back alley bullshit kind of way. I only saw this in two resources, so take it with a grain of salt. No victims that I saw ever come forward were involved in this experiment, but basically it involved certain members of the community watching disturbing footage, including videos so disturbing, like people being murdered, while their brainwaves, psychological activity, and facial and auditory responses were recorded. So yeah, that's fun. So we
For
have
what?
sex slaves because he wanted
To see if it would give them Tourette's?
I don't know, find a discovery for what caused it or why it was done. I have no idea. It was so random, so this felt like the only place to just kind of put that little nugget.
Yeah.
Now we're going back to sex slavery. Sierra's like, why though?
Yeah, like what? Okay.
Why to any of what I have
Yeah.
said for the last 40 minutes, okay? We don't know. We're just here for it. So back to the super secret sex slave society, the DOS, that would eventually lead to their downfall. Actress Sarah Edmondson, which I'm terrible with actors' names and where they are in terms of films, but I do recognize the name. So I Googled her, and then I recognized her face, and then I went on IMDb and realized that I had not seen anything with her in it, but she is an actress.
Okay.
She's Canadian also. if you Google her face and that's it, you might recognize her too. But I'm like, oh, okay, maybe your face is just one of those faces that's familiar. She was allowed into the DOS group. She was almost fast-tracked into it because of her notoriety as a celebrity and because she had paid her dues, quite literally. As part of her initiation, she was asked to take naked photos of herself as collateral for her master should
That's
she
a
misbehave.
problem.
So red flag number 1.
Yeah.
Red flag number 2. Part of the initiation is that you are to lay on a massage table completely naked and blindfolded while fellow group members hold you down. You're supposed to say, quote, "Master, please brand me. It would be my honor," before actually being branded with a hot iron in the pelvic area with Keith Raniere's initials. So a little KR on your pelvic area.
Okay, I really hope you get into it. Do these people know that they're joining to be sex slaves?
Yes. I think that, oh God. Sorry. I think that they have to know. 1, because they're being branded like cows. 2, I don't even like cows being branded. I would just like to put that out there, guys. That's fucking mean. Second of all, you're saying that. Third of all, you're giving collateral should you choose to misbehave.
What is in it for them?
Have we seen Keith? Okay, first of all, a name like Keith is the most vanilla fucking name there is. Second of all, brother's nothing special. Like,
What do they get out of it? Is he paying them?
no.
I just don't understand.
They get to be his sex slave and be on call 24 hours a day, Sierra. Does that not sound like
so
fun?
weird.
This act served as a binding contract that she would serve him, and the women of DOS were requested to be on call 24 hours a day and had to respond to Keith's texts within 60 seconds, or else they would be punished. A popular form of punishment was starvation. What?
I just don't understand why.
I don't either. I'm just here. I told you this is a mixed bag. I told you it's confusing. We
Like-
heard the 12-step statement. We're still not sure what any of that meant.
How are people going out and being like, you should join this group? We get to
What's
be
the
Keith
incentive?
Raniere's sex slave.
But that's the super
And-
secret part, Sierra. The incentive is that you get to learn all of his knowledge
Ugh,
as the
Jesus.
group's leader and pay, small amounts of thousands of dollars and sit for 17 hours in these classes and learn.
And how
with
is
them.
that self-helping?
They had fitness classes.
Jeez.
I don't know. I have 12 pages of handwritten notes and I still don't understand.
Yeah, it just stresses me out.
I'm stressed out too. Does she look familiar to you or does she just have one of
She
those
did
faces?
look really familiar, but yeah, I also don't know anything that she's in. It looks like she's like on maybe a lot of Hallmark stuff or something. I don't know.
So we're not sure. Well, maybe that's why the group's retention rate isn't that great, Sierra.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that makes sense because we're not sure what the incentive is. Much like his failed attempts to fucking sell products, he's failing to sell these courses, but also somehow convincing all of these bougie women to have sex with him 24 hours a day or be on call 24 hours a day, rather. I don't know.
What does he even do? Like, is he
probably
a celebrity?
sits in an ivory palace at this point. People are
I
paying
mean,
that
like
much
before
money.
this.
He was deemed a fraud for MLM scams.
Like, he's never been an actor, right?
No, he is literally a nobody. He is a Joe Schmo, charismatic liar.
How? Okay.
Beating on vulnerable people. I don't know. I'm just here to confuse the rest of you guys.
Yeah.
60 seconds though. I am pretty much on my phone a lot of the day, but I don't even respond that quickly sometimes.
Mm-mm.
Like, what the and I want to
Also,
know what
like,
these texts say. Like, are they like, be
right.
in my bedroom in 5 minutes, or I'm gonna starve you for the next week? Like,
Yeah, I hope all they have to reply back with is like K,
yeah,
because
right.
it
One
takes me a
letter.
minute to think of a response. And then I have to reread it to make sure I'm not being rude.
God forbid, God forbid you leave him on red. Like, ugh.
Ugh.
Given all of this information and the steps to her initiation, Sarah filed a complaint to the New York Department of Health. This complaint turned the heat up on this group, but it also inspired many other women within the group to come forward about their abuses and realize that what they were doing and being asked to do was not okay, and that no one should be treated like that. Many people dropped out of the organization as a result, which turned even more heat up on the remaining members and their leader. Sarah Edmondson, along with fellow members Bonnie Piesse and Mark Vincent, as well as a mother of one of the members named Catherine Oxenberg, spoke to the New York Times and revealed their concerns about the DOS organization, their sexual practices, and the branding of their members, as well as using naked photos to extort them. Obviously, the New York Times is like, yes, I'm very interested in this piece. And following the release of their findings, an investigation into the organization was held, leading to an arrest warrant being put out on Keith. Of course, because he's got people in high places, he was tipped off first, and he fled to Mexico. Where all good criminals run off to. Are you shocked? Like, every time I'm like, somebody fled, they fled to Mexico.
Yeah.
Stop letting people into Mexico so easily. God damn it. I just. He remained on the run for a couple of months before being arrested in early 2018 in March.
Months.
And
Dang,
was
I don't
brought
remember that.
back. Yeah, he fled at the end of 2017 when all of this started coming out. And then, like, beginning of 2018. Also, like, who's helping him? Because, like, he's used to a
Yeah.
bougie lifestyle. You know, he's not just sitting on the streets. He was brought back to New York to face his charges. Other influential group members, like fellow actresses Claire Bronfman and Allison Mack, were facing charges as well, with a trial being set in June of 2019. Rather than go to trial, though, Claire pled guilty to visa fraud and Allison to racketeering. So Keith would face trial alone after pleading not guilty. Because, you know, he's done nothing wrong
He's
here.
such a fucking idiot.
And Allison Mack is the actress that I was in Smallville that I really liked. I'm not saying I dislike her now. In the interviews that I did watch with her in it, she does seem very remorseful to, you know, helping people or helping recruit members to join these classes, not knowing where some of these members went and some of the sexual practices that they were up against.
Yeah.
The accusations behind Keith go even further. There is one case in 1984 where allegedly he raped a 15-year-old girl named Gina Melita after they met in a
Jesus.
theater group. So he literally just does not give a shit about anything. And on October 11th, 2002, Gina was 33 years old and was found dead from a gunshot wound to her head. And her mother did press charges against Keith, having said that, you know, the sexual assault against her daughter was what led to her taking her own life. She couldn't deal with it. It's heartbreaking.
Gosh.
He alleged that the sexual encounter was 100%
Consensual.
Thank you. But that's not the case, because you cannot have consensual sex with a 15-year-old when you're 24,
Exactly.
which he was at the time. So disgusting. So as far as I know, the two did settle separately from his trial, but he's disgusting. And luckily, the uproar surrounding their practices and the fact that he was just full of shit, the jury wasn't really buying it either. And he was found guilty of sex trafficking, forced labor, conspiracy, and wire fraud. And on October 21st, 2021, he was sentenced to 121 years in prison and is currently serving at Arizona State Prison. Many members still remain loyal to Keith, and while their new membership rates have gone way, 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 way down, there are some people that still believe in his practices, his teachings, and think that he has done nothing wrong, while
But what
others
the
remain
fuck?
incredibly remorseful and
What
continue to
are
speak out about their time in NXIVM. The Vow is the most recent documentary that had come out.
how can they still believe in his practices, his teachings? What the fuck is he teaching you? His sentences don't make sense. How do you believe in that? What does it even mean?
I don't know.
Like they're talking in code or something.
I don't know, man.
Those sentences just do not flow right.
They don't make any sense. In 2019, the TV network Investigation Discovery also released a documentary titled The Lost Women of NXIVM, where many of the women came out about their connections to NXIVM and Keith, and then the HBO docuseries The Vow. So if you guys do have HBO and you get the chance to watch it, please let me know how it is. And this was another interesting little tidbit that I had for you to end us off on a happier note, is that Nick Jonas, our beloved, our love, appeared dressed up as Keith Raniere on Saturday Night Live in the "You want to watch a murder show? Murder show?
Yeah.
I'm going to watch a murder show." The glasses and the wig, that was
Yeah.
what he was supposed to be dressed up as.
Oh.
So yeah, that is the very confusing mixed bag cult that is NXIVM. More information about his practices continue to come out as women come forward, and hopefully this is a cult that we will just see come to a piddling halt. I don't know if anyone's currently in charge or who's accepting money for these courses or if these courses are still going on. God, I hope not. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that and are just as confused as I am.
Yeah, I get that people can become brainwashed and whatnot, and I'm certain that is what happens to these people. But like, I really want to know what the fuck he's teaching because from what I can tell, it doesn't make sense.
Unfortunately, all I was able to find was the 12-step statement.
Right.
But because it's super secret, Sierra.
Yeah.
But if I'm not sure either. Many people just express regret on, having paid the money to begin with, having
Right.
put their family and their, financial situation at risk. And then many of the women in the DOS obviously report really traumatic, sexual practices, and like to be on call 24 hours a day and to like we're not robots. We don't always want it, like
Yeah.
it's forced sex in a lot of cases, and it's really sad. So I don't know. And especially like people that have money, like what, there are other things you could spend your money on. Like I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. It's sad.
Yeah, it is.
You guys
really
be
fucking
careful
sad.
before you sign up for self-help shit. These people
Or
are themselves.
go to a dinner party where they want to teach you about their products. Be careful there too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gross. And he's gross. And I hope he is having zero fun in prison. But 120
I
years. That's a pretty
wish
hefty
they would
sentence.
have added on the pedophilia just so that he could deal with that in prison.
I agree completely, but I think that's why his lawyers pushed for him to
Yeah. Settle.
settle outside of court. But
Yeah.
that's really sad. Did
Thank
I
you
teach you
for
anything
covering
new?
this. You taught me like everything new. The only thing I
Yeah.
had known was, I guess, the stuff that Alice and Max said.
And we pay no fault to Nick Jonas, for the record, listener of the show, for, his satire behavior in Saturday Night Live. That was still one of
Actually,
the
I
greatest.
love it. I love that that's who he chose to, because that is the epitome of a creepy fucking person. A fucking creep, and he was, trying to be murdery or whatever.
Right?
Creepy.
That was like 2 years ago that came out. And it feels like not that long ago.
It does.
I
feel
remember
not
when
that
it
long
came out
ago.
and you and I were like, this is the greatest thing that's ever existed.
Yeah.
It's catchy. It has Nick Jonas in it. It's
Yep.
funny because, that's what women do. They fold their pajamas and they watch a murder show,
Exactly.
I mean, that's what we're here to do. And on that note, it is, like we said,
Wolfnut.
Wolfnut. Happy Wolfnut, everybody. And do you have anything that you are thankful for or happy about or something exciting to share with the peeps?
I don't know. I'm happy that I had fun last night when I went out.
There you go. Sierra went new boot goofing last night.
I did.
You will hear that in next week's episode that we recorded with Lindsay.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that my spell candles finally came in. Colored candles, because I have been doing
Nice.
spell work with color magic and herbs and, just lighting with intention. So I'm really excited about that. Because before this, I only had black and white candles, and that limited my ability to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of a spell that I had lit with intention, have you heard any updates on your presents?
No.
Listen,
It's
I
not
just
there.
keep holding.
It's at my
hoping.
neighbor's house.
That man has no business with a
He's
candy
fucking
corn witch,
weird.
okay? That's weird, sir.
He's weird.
I have your replacements to go with your Christmas stuff. I just wanted to know if there was an update.
Yeah.
Somebody. I love you. I feel like a bad friend. You don't have your 30th birthday gifts. Fucking rude.
It's okay.
If you guys have any candle magic or color magic that you would like to share with me, please feel free to do so. But we love you and we are thankful for all of you. We will celebrate Wolfnut in full force next year.
Yes.
And stay tuned for Sierra's Murderless episode next week with a super special guest.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, go leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. Go check out all the bonus content we have on Patreon. If you want us to toast in your honor, you can also buy us just a drink. And we would love to do that too.
Everything.
And in the meantime,
Keep it twisted.
Twisted and Uncorked is a proud member of Weirding Way Media. Hosted and produced by Sierra Zorn and Alecia Watson. If you like the show, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you are listening now. It really is the best way to spread the word. You can check out all things Twisted on our website, twistedanduncorked.com, and we will see you next Tuesday for a brand new episode.